This gas pump got me thinking. If car guys like me, they like the older stuff, I like gas pumps. Is that because we go through like a lot of gas and just where we remember being? So does that mean Prius owners dream about trees? And leaves? And grass? I don't know, side note. Coming to you live from CHP! Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny. At least I think so. So I was working on the firewall. I got most of the side outers removed. If my cameraman wants to come and show the missing piece. There's some damage down here. And we're going to make a patch panel to cover in where the bad rust was. And then we'll obviously make that panel. But first I want to focus on the front piece here. We're going to make the piece that fills in this section here. So the plan is to remove this lip. So then I can make a piece that comes in from the back side. And then we're going to weld it in. And then over that we're going to filler it in with body filler to make a flat firewall, as well as I'm going to go through and fill in each little of these holes. These bigger ones will probably be part of the patch panel I'm going to make, but then, like I said, these will be filled in, not with body filler, but with metal. And the dimples, unfortunately, will probably be filled with body filler. So moving forward, it'll be a smooth, clean looking firewall that'll look good at shows. So, good, gonna get to work here. So now we moved on to the filler panel for the firewall. What I did is I made a cardboard template that covers the whole hole, and then follow it up with a steel piece that matches the same basic shape. And being that we're putting it on the back of the firewall, we can now weld it in, and then the leftover material, I kept it where it was only about a 1/4 of an inch overlap on the backside. So then that way there's not an excess of material there and too much more weight. I know the body filler is going to add just a little bit, but we're talking ounces, which I know racing, you're trying to save as much weight as possible, but I just wanted to look good and look actually really good is what my goal was. So we're going to start doing this and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens next. Kept pushing. We got some mud on the firewall, as you can see. Keep moving forward. This is the second coat. We're slowly straightening out the firewall. The patch actually worked out really well with how I have it tacked and stitched throughout the patch. We haven't put the outers on. With how I'm doing the outers, I'm going to be tack welding them with a TIG, a little bit more controlled heat, easier to do application on it, and more specific on how much I'm actually penetrating the surface of the material that I'm using. They're going to be brand new outers, so when they go on, it's not as hard to deal with. At least that's what I'm hoping. Otherwise, the firewall is actually coming out pretty well. The firewall's coming out really well with how I'm doing it. All this material over here, it's being that there isn't much repair needing to be done or straightening out because of how many different steps and cavities that are being used. Like right here, I'm going to be building an aluminum panel to block that off, as well as the panel that goes right here in the main front clip connector, or the body harness. I'm going to make a plate that follows this outline as well. So that way this will be blocked off from the engine compartment for certifications, which I'm less than a month away. So I'm actually in a rush to get this done, but I want to make sure it gets done right this time so I don't have to come back and fix it. Otherwise, next progress clip coming at you. Question to you guys is, what do you do while your body filler is drying that doesn't affect it? So I'm testing out the paint that I've always been curious about, and that is the Duplicolor from your local auto parts store, pretty much. It is a lacquer-based paint, very old school style, ready to spray right out on the gun. So it doesn't need an activator to cure. In the instructions, it says within, I believe it's an hour, it's dry. And what is it? Buff and polish for the best results and finish. As more glossy and smooth Duplicolor paint shop can be buffed and polished. Allow the sprayed area to dry at least 6 hours. That's pretty good. I'm gonna wait a little longer. Got some body filler on here, looking good. Got a low spot right around here, so we're gonna take most of that extra stuff off today. Goal on day 2 of the firewall is to have it where we can ignore it because it's gonna be done, at least for the point of the finish work. It'll be probably down to, I would say 320, maybe 420. Nice good surface, smooth for the paint to show up real well. Welcome to the saga of trying to build a race car, aka 69 El Camino. Back here at CHP, got some parts coming in. And the YouTube thing is to open up your packages. The YouTube thing is to open up your packages and show everybody what you spent your money on. Oddly enough, this is supposed to be the same size package as the other one because it's shipped from manufacturer. So I'm curious on why. Or at least why I got shipped in a different style package. You guessed it, it's a cowl panel with a driver hand side. Cool. Small package. That's what she said. Now, this is supposed to be the same thing, but for the right hand side. It's a huge package. Same company. Better package though. Tenfold. Right hand side, look at that. And now, last but not least, last but not least, the heavy one. A box inside of a box. Hopefully the solution to my front end issues. Brand new front coil springs. The last ones I ordered were big block springs for Chevelle / El Camino. They were way too stiff. It was actually maxed out on the shock, so the shock would actually get stuck at the highest amount of travel and it would never compress on my factory style front end here. These are L6 code, or what is known as L6 on Summit Racing. There's the V8 option and the L6. So they're supposed to be for the 6-cylinder, brand new 6-cylinder springs. And I'm hoping that solves the issue because we're going to the fiberglass front clip. The front clip is supposed to weigh around 18 pounds compared to the factory front end, which weighs roughly 150, maybe pushing 200. So the difference in weight should be right here. Yeah, we're running with a big block, but we got aluminum heads. We got some other future things going on with the car. So we definitely want to go to the lighter front springs, and hopefully the front end will transfer the weight better. I'll probably post some videos of how the front end actually, it stays still almost unless you're on the foot brake. And the back end is hopping out of the hole. It's not very good on weight transfer right now. So hopefully these are going to be the solution to the launching on it. Otherwise, the other stuff that is new, so we'll put it up on the table here. Also picked up, we got some spot putty for the car. Almost done with firewall, I promise. This is day 3 of this adventure. Adventures on Firewall should be what the title is. Spot putty is only used for very small changes in the firewall. You don't want to use it to fill up large areas of repairs. It's not designed to handle that type of, wow, that is a huge tube. It's not designed to cover a big area. It's meant for smaller sections. We got some caliper paint. We're going to go to a silver on the calipers to keep them looking like new metallic look. And then we got some black caliper paint for the spindles and some other components that I wanted to do that's near heat sensitive areas. Not exceeding 500 degrees Fahrenheit, which is perfect for what we're doing with it. Otherwise, we have medium panel bond. This is what I was talking about installing those cowl pieces. We wanted to do this instead of the welding. This is said to be stronger than your sheet metal welding. The idea in my head of why they assume it's stronger is the amount of contact patch for the glued sections. This stuff is designed not to come off the car very easily. So if I needed to replace these panels in the future from some damage of unknown circumstances, it's not going to come off lightly. So the contact patch. Say you got a weld. Kind of like this. So say a sheet metal weld is going to be this wide. You can barely see that, can you? Now imagine the panel bond covering up that much surface. So the panel's put together and squished. You got this amount of contact patch to the actual metal. This is your weld holding that sheet metal piece on. That's why I assume that they say it's stronger than a metal weld or sheet metal weld. Now, if you have a different reasoning, please put in the comments below and let me know what you think, why they think it's stronger. Otherwise, this is a medium stage, so it's workable for 40 minutes in clamp time. So meaning you can remove the clamps within 2 hours. It shouldn't take me long to put the pieces on there to keep it there exactly where I want it. It's a nice quick set time. There's a different styles and set times of panel bond you can get. There was one that goes down to like 20 minutes, and I felt like that was a little quick for what I'm doing with it. So we're gonna move on. I'm gonna show you, or I'm gonna get to the outer panels. We're gonna finish up the firewall hopefully today. Otherwise, I'll show you when it's finished. And moving on. And then we got the new panels like all the way on. They turned out really well. I think I could have did a little bit better job on clamping it, but as you can see, it definitely squirted out where I wanted it to. The upper panel here, I get the cowl crossover is what I'd call it, or part of the firewall. I guess I'll have to look up what they actually want to call it if you have to order this piece itself. I got it all pretty smoothed out. Right now I'd have the final spot putty on it to finish it up so I can spray it today. This hole right here was actually made for the old, I guess, decorative panel to make it look more presentable, I guess. So next clip hopefully will be me prepping to get the firewall to get painted. So trying to keep you guys interested in the build. I'm trying not to do as much of the firewall work with sanding and trying to make things straight. So I want to just show you. I wanted to show you guys the idea behind TIG welding and some of the stuff that you can't do. For instance, on MIG, you guys can use magnets to keep your pieces in place. Where TIG welding you can't. TIG welding will actually, while using a magnet TIG, the arc will actually pull away towards the magnet. So if you're trying to put it, say, if you're trying to put it here, and your magnet is over here, your arc will actually curve and move over to the left-hand side or towards the magnet itself. It's how electricity works. It's attracted towards those electrons. So on TIG welding, you have to get a little creative, like how you're going to hold your piece in place. So what I did is I made my repair panel, or my repair piece, and then I TIG welded a rod to it so that I can actually be up here on top of it, holding it in place while I tack it in place. Now, for this situation, what I did to find where the rust ended, or the thin rust is, I just took the torch tip and I kept on melting away all the thin rotted out rust, and it'll kind of bubble and pop, being that there's porosity in rust. Oxygen, it's inside of it. So when I do it, it'll eliminate all that porosity as much as possible by popping and falling to the floor, where then I can actually find the spot where it doesn't blow up and show the porosity like a MIG weld does. So then you can inevitably find a good material to weld to. And that's what I did. With how big of a hole that was, I don't know if you remember the piece before when I was checking it out and showing you guys, but it wasn't as pronounced as how big this hole is. So this is my quick, fast repair that I don't have to worry about, and I know that it's taken care of this time. So the other side, I was able to get away with just filling it up with fill rod. It wasn't that bad. So moving forward, we're going to keep going. To catch you guys back up on the little bit of the firewall I want to show you guys. Right now we got spot putty on. After about a half-hour break from spraying with all the fumes and everything, we finally got some color and clear on the car. I built a contraption to keep the shop nice and keep the overspray off of everything else. And in the next episode, you'll see how good it looks. Till next time, bye.